hierarchy of needs. And so for in so many words, this is everything about life and how you know it and perceive it. This man has really studied it. It took me, I basically thought about this pyramid for like 2 years in a row, like every single day, because I was fascinated with the end. So in other words, Abraham believed that 2% of the world's population will ever get to this part of the pyramid. I need everybody to make sure that you're writing this piece down and stuff here in this pyramid. So he believed that 2% of the world's population would ever get to the top of the pyramid. So in other words, there's about 2,000 people on campus. There's only, in essence, going to be 20 people on this campus, if this is so, that will ever get to become who they were created to be. Now, if you are a Christian, you would call it God actualization. If you're not Christian, you would call it self-actualization. Let's start at the beginning. So right here, this is where life begins for most people. Physiological needs: air, food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. By the age of 0 to 2, if you don't get all of these things within the age of 0 to 2, Abraham basically suggested that you're going to have issues for the rest of your life. You're going to have serious psychological problems for the rest of your life because you didn't get these needs met at the age of 0 to 2. Okay. So if there was some neglect going on in your past, or something that happened in your history, if you didn't get those needs met, he would say you're going to struggle forever. Okay? So let's say you got those needs met. You were nurtured, you're given food, water, shelter, and clothing. Now the next part of the pyramid: safety, security needs. Okay, so within those needs, if you are struggling with employment because you have issues going from job to job to job to job, psychologically, he would suggest that there was something that didn't get met, a need that didn't get met within safety, security needs, or that caused you to have issues with family problems, with jobs and employment. You're struggling with this because these needs didn't get met. Okay? So let's say you got all those needs met, but go back to this piece. If you're a girl or a guy, and you keep seeing this person, he keeps struggling, he's going from job to job, and you don't understand why this is happening, it's because something didn't get met as a child. And man, I love you girls, y'all, you want to change people, and guys, some of you guys, you want to change people, but there's something you have to be trained to help bring somebody out of the slump that they're in. You have to be trained. And then say those needs are met. You get to this place here. If your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend is struggling with love and belongingness, it's because certain needs didn't get met at a certain time in their growth period. So they're going to always struggle with friends, family, and intimacy, and have a struggle or issue with connectedness to their social world. For some reason, those love and belongingness emotions didn't get met as a child. A lot of times, I know girls, some of you want to be single parent mamas, but there are certain things in life that I don't care how good you are as a woman, you cannot fulfill what certain aspects men bring to a family. No matter how hard you try, because you're not equipped to do it. And vice versa. I don't care how good of a dad you are. There are certain things you can't teach a young girl about what it is to be a woman. And you can be a great father, but these things may not get met. So this person could struggle with love and belongingness because they're stuck in this part of the pyramid. Now, going to this part of the pyramid, this is where you find most of the kids who get straight A's in school, and they are self-driven. It's because all those needs are met, and now they don't have an issue with confidence and achievement, respect for others, and connectedness for individuality. They have no problem with these issues here, so they are thriving. They want more. They're driven. They want a degree. These people in adult life, if they're making $1,000 an hour, they want to figure out how to make two. If they are the assistant manager, they want to figure out how to become the manager. They want to own it. They want to run something. They want to still gain more and more knowledge. Now, Abraham suggested that 98% of the world's population fits right here. From this part of the pyramid down. Most of you in this class, I would say just about every one of you fit into this part here because you haven't achieved or been able or capable of achieving what it was that you were created to be. Now, again, if you're a Christian, good example of somebody who has gotten to this point, self-actualization. We would say Mother Teresa self-actualized. Because if you walked up to Mother Teresa and you asked her, Mother Teresa, you made me feel so good about the things that you've done in life and you've changed my life, Mother Teresa. I'd like to offer you the keys to a brand new Bentley outside. It's got a driver. You'll never have to walk again. For the rest of your life, you'll be able to get driven any place you need to go, Mother Teresa, because I want to give something back to you. Mother Teresa will probably look at you and say, you know what? Donate it to the church. I have no need for a Bentley. And it doesn't fit into my life. When you get to the self-actualization, you become all that you were created to be, and anything that doesn't fit into who you are as a person, you have no need for because you don't want more. As you get to this part of the pyramid, there is no more need to get more or have more. You've gotten $1 million. You don't want to figure out how to get 2 million because that's where you are and that's where you want to be. You become satisfied with what you were created and made or on this earth for. You live in your moment. If you ask Martin Luther King, that he was another person that was thought to have been self-actualized. If you said, Martin Luther King, you're stressed out, man. I know people are trying to kill you. You're having, people coming after you, people threatening you. You know what? I got a yacht in Georgia, right off the coast. Here's the keys. Whenever you get too stressed out, I want you to take this yacht. I'm giving it to you. And I want you to get out there on the sea and just forget about everything. I guarantee you. Martin Luther King would say, it doesn't fit into my lifestyle. I don't know what I would do with a yacht. It's kind of weird. So you know what? You keep it because it doesn't fit who I am. If you're a Christian in the Christian sense of things, Moses was created for a purpose. And so when he was created, being that he was created for a purpose, he wasn't created to be the president of Israel. He wasn't created to be the pastor of Israel. But he was created to lead the children from Egypt to Israel, which the sea had to be parted and all kinds of miracles had to take place. But he did exactly what he was created to do. Does that make sense? Y'all get what I'm saying about going too high pitch? Okay, so in essence, when you get to this point, and this word used to baffle me, self-actualization, there is no more trying to gain. There's no more records to break. There is no more, I want a better degree. For some people, self-actualization may not be a degree whatsoever. Some people, it may be a high school education and I'm out. It may be for some people to have a PhD and to call you doctor. So if you think of it in a sense of like if you have a car, right? And your car at the end of that thing it says 120 at the end of the speedometer. Now that car was only created to go 120. You take the governors off and it goes to 120. It tops out at 120. It's not trying to go higher. It tops out right there. And so there is no more need to go to 125, 126. It stops at 120. Why? Because it was designed to go that fast, and that was it. Now you have another car. It might have been designed to go 245 miles an hour. So it tops out and 245. Now, the car that's at 120 has no bearing what the 245 car does. And it has no care. But it was doing exactly what it was maximally capable of doing. Oh man, it's deep. Oh man, if I was floating, ooh, if I had a robe on, I wouldn't be walking, I'd be floating. I'd be like this. Oh man. So I make people pay for this, but you're gonna get it for free. So in essence, you began to become spontaneous. You experience purpose. You have true meaning to your life. If it was made for you or designed for you to be single, you're not looking for a boyfriend. You're not looking for a girlfriend. You're happy being all by yourself. Because that's what I was made to do, is be by myself. But if you were made to have a family, a wife, and you be a wife and have kids and have a lot of things that go along with the kids and taking them to the soccer match, and that's all you were created to be, well, you're going to be the best wife and mother to them kids, and that's really, you feel like you've topped out, that's where you top out. So there is no level of, I don't have as much as the Joneses have. I don't have what Julian has. Oh man, he's bigger than me. Well, I wish I was. No, there is no more need for trying to get what somebody else has. But it now becomes a focus on what you are. Oh, that's deep, man. So so does that make sense? Question about any of this. One kid asked me, he said, Coach, what if you're stuck here and you want to get here, but you can't? I said, well, then that's a choice. Because what happens, let me go backwards a little bit. Go backwards. If you're at this point and you self-actualize, what you do now, what you dedicate your whole life to now, is you go back to helping others self-actualize. You start bringing other people up. So this is what your whole mission in life becomes. Instead of trying to get more, now you're trying to help everybody else get to where they're supposed to be. In whatever level that is, or amount of money that is, or level of prosperity that is. That's what you devote your life to now. It's not, how can I get $100,000? How can I get $200,000? No, it's how can I get him to become what he was capable of being? I see who he is. How do I get him up? How do I bring him, because he had such a tough history in life, how do I get him to here? Because from here to here may be the difference from living on the streets and actually having a job and making a living for themselves. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Here and here could be the difference from being on the street and having a house. So if I can get this person from here to here, that's my mission now. And so if I can get this person that's stuck here to here, this becomes my mission. Oprah Winfrey, what does she do? Spends her whole life. Now, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car, you all get a car. She goes to Africa and she builds a school, staffs the school for girls that were battered and abused. This is where she spends her life now. She doesn't want to get more money. She doesn't want to have another station on TV. She's got enough. She got one. She got the show. She made a lot of money. And now she's developing others to get to where she is. Because I made enough money. I don't need my name to be larger. Does that make sense? Question about anything? Question about anything? You hit stop. Question about